If you like being depressed, enjoy having no drive in your life to improve, want to be lazy, love being an underachiever, then this show is not for you. Get off your loser attitude and stay tuned to the Dani Johnson Show.
You're a winner.
You were born to be a winner.
We help you dig deep. We motivate. We inspire.
The Dani Johnson Show.
Hey, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. We're so glad that you decided to join us today. I hope your day's been awesome. Some days are not, right? Some days just stink. You can wake up in the morning feeling nasty because of some pizza you ate last night. Or in my case, I had a concrete mixer from, Culver's. Do you have a Culver's by you? They have them in Ohio. Not Ohio, Illinois, and in Texas. I know that. It's amazing. Butter burgers. I'm not doing a commercial for them, I promise. But anyway, last night, my sister's in town, so we took her to Culver's, got a concrete mixer, and I got a small, but it still was too big. It was a bad idea. Anyway, but no, I didn't wake up this morning with a food hangover. I really didn't. Anyway, but some days, you can wake up and you just don't feel so hot. For whatever the reason is, whether you did something stupid that you put in your mouth, or you didn't get enough sleep, or, I don't know, you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I know this, food always has an impact on how I feel. And I don't know if you realize it, but food also has an impact on how your kids feel. And everybody's emotions could be going crazy. And everyone wants to strangle each other. And we run out of grace. Isn't that awesome? But that's not what we're talking about today. If this is your first time joining this show, this is the Dani Johnson Show. And today we're going to uncover, we're going to attack, we're going to reach into some waters that might make some people mad. There's a lot of brats on the planet today. Have you not noticed it? Come on, I know I'm not the only one. Have you not noticed it? There's a lot of spoiled brats that are out there. So different than a few generations ago. There was like a few spoiled rotten brats out there, but today, man, it's the give me now. In fact, forget about now. You should have gave me yesterday. And whose fault is it? Is it our society that has created this give me, I want it yesterday, I want it now, and hurry up already with getting me my request? Recently I had my oldest daughter at our home. I had all 5 of my children home with 2 of the 3 spouses. All 8 grandchildren now. My daughter is in the process of adopting 2 more kids. She's given birth 4 times, and she's adopting 2 more. So her 6 kids were with her. My little Anthem was with us. And then my sister came from Portland and has her 2 kids with us. And there's a different pace that happens when you have all these little kids. Because my oldest granddaughter is 8, and then it goes down to 7, then 6, then 2 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 2-year-old, and then Anthem, who's 8 months old, who weighs like as much as a 2-year-old weighs. But nonetheless, the pace was crazy. And I was really proud of my daughter because she's done such a really good job with grooming her kids. I'm not talking about how she does their hair. I'm not talking about that at all. I'm talking about how she is able to navigate the I wants and 6 children all wanting to eat, and they all want a different sandwich. And there's something that I did when I was younger with my kids when they were little, and I was not a short order cook. I make lunch, this is what we're going to eat. Just like dinner. I'm making dinner, this is what we're going to eat. And if you don't eat it, you're going to go hungry, and that's your choice. But this is what we're cooking, and this is how it is. But it's interesting how I had gotten this revelation that even being a short order cook in my house meant that I was custom making everything for all of us, right? 5 kids, my husband and myself. That's like an impossibility. To be able to please everybody and everybody's wants and everybody's craving in that very moment. But yet we live in a society that hasn't necessarily said we should, but there's this underlying messaging that says we should. And we want it our way, right? Your what do they call it? The Whopper, get it your way. Most of the advertising that happens today is all geared towards really tapping on, touching into, and pulling out of us our selfish desires. And yet now we're looking at the fruit of this microwave society in the next generation. And it seems to be that there's just a lot of spoiled, rotten brats out there. So are you raising brats, or are you grooming kids for success? And how are you trained up? Were you trained up with everything being able to be custom made and custom ordered to you? Are you one of those adults that now is a give it to me now? I want it my way. No, I don't want pink. I want purple. I don't want that color purple. I want it to be the lighter purple. No, I don't want that lavender color. I want lilac. Huh? Or if it comes to food. No, I wanted onions, but they have to be red onions. I don't want yellow onions on my burger. It's got to be red onions. And yes, I would like pickles, but I don't want dill pickles. I want sweet pickles. In fact, don't give me sweet pickles. I want sweet pickle relish. In fact, I want this other brand, right? Gosh, what are we doing? Who are we becoming? More importantly, who are we training up with our examples? Because truly, our kids have become just like us. They have. And I love it when I hear parents and adults say, oh, kids these days, oh, this generation, oh, I can't believe they're just, I want. And then that same father or mother turns around and does the same exact thing. Wants something just perfectly custom made and makes their demands as they're going through a drive-through or making their demands even in a restaurant. Have you ever noticed how people order in a restaurant? I used to be a waitress, so I noticed a lot. And there were some ways that some people ordered that made me not want to give it to them anytime soon. I don't know if you know this, but there are some people that work in restaurants that spit in your food when you're not nice to them. They do. Oh, yeah. They'll purposely even grab a hair out of their head and stick it in your food. And there are some that would chop up a cockroach and serve it within your salad. You can't tell the difference because there's beets and all these other dark things and raisins. Have fun with the cockroach in your salad. Yeah, because some people, they do. Some people are rude at restaurants. And even kids are rude at restaurants. Where there is no please, there's no thank you. There's not even eye contact. You know, looking at the menu. Okay, I'll have the chicken sandwich with no mayonnaise, please, and I want red onions, not yellow onions, and I will have a Diet Dr. Pepper too, and I would like the French fries on the side. I don't want them on the same plate. No eye contact. Okay, not a thank you, not a please, no eye contact. And the kids are observing, and they're seeing the same exact thing. So let's have a broad view of our society today. And then let's fast forward. What is it going to look like 20 years from now? Well, Dani, the society problem is too big. I can't fight it. I'm not going to change this society. There's nothing I could do about it. I totally agree with you. However, you can create a culture around you. The culture that's in your home, the culture that's in your workplace, the culture that's in your car. Because the culture in many people's cars might look something like this. Mom's driving to school with the kids in the car, in the minivan. Yep. And everyone has their own personal device of some movie that they're watching for 15 minutes on their way to school. No one's talking. And, oh, wait a minute, somebody cuts mom off. She hasn't quite had her second pot of coffee yet. And, yeah, you crazy driver, with her hand up in the air. I can't believe you learn how to drive. Take some driving lessons. And here goes the kid. Yeah, man. Wow. They're watching us. We're training them. And if we are gimme now adults, then we are training up spoiled, rotten, give-me-now brats. You don't want to do that, do you? So if you disagree with me, call me. We're going to have this discussion together because this is not a one-way conversation. 844-200-3264 is the number. Again, that's 844-200-3264. 844-200-3264. What do you think about this give-me society? Do you think that's who we've become? Or do you feel like we have become a society of wonderful givers, wonderful, sweet people, people that just love each other? And these children, oh, they have no wants. They don't have their Christmas list. They don't have their birthday list. No, they aren't give me kids. They are, what can I give kind of kids. Yeah, Is that how you think our society is? I'd like to know your opinion. Call me now, 844-200-3264. What kind of society are you seeing? 844-200-3264. What I know is that I started to see this in my kids. You know, my husband and I were just talking about this the other day, too. And what we were talking about is how having kids, created a desire in us to be better people. You know, before you have kids, you're pretty much a loose cannon in most cases, right? You do what you want whenever you want. You know, you just live your life. You're not living it really for anybody but yourself. At least that's how we were. But once we had kids, all of a sudden, something changed inside of me and through the confession of my husband's mouth, it changed in him too. And that was that we just wanted to be better people. We wanted to, well, I used to have a truck driver mouth. Every once in a while, it still tries to come out. But I'm just honest, almost most people are the same way, okay? Anyway, I'm just telling you the truth. Anyway, so right away, I cleaned up my mouth, especially in front of my children. I still was a little loose in other places, but all in all, when I was around my children in our house, I wouldn't let those bad words come off of my tongue. And when I say bad words, I mean bad words. Really, really bad. Did you hear me? Bad. 4-letter, nasty, filthy words. I just had this conviction. I don't want to do that anymore. You know, I started to change the way I ate. I changed the way I would talk about myself because I didn't want a daughter to pick up on my self-image issues. I didn't ever want to hear my kids speak bad about themselves the way they would hear me speak bad about myself. So I literally, they were a great accountability that I needed to be careful of the self-deprecating things I would say, or I would be careful of condemning things that I would say, or things that I so loosely could say behind other people's backs in my home. I all of a sudden, I shouldn't do that. I don't want to do that. And so my kids really, I don't know, the kids in our house just made me want to be a better person. Have you found the same for you? I'd love to hear your perspective on that. And what changes are you making as a parent or an auntie, an uncle, even a teacher, on things that you are more aware of in making sure you're doing the best to set the right example for those children that are around you? 844-200-3264 is that phone number. We got 5 lines lit up. I'd love to hear from you right away. 844-200-3264 is that number. When we continue on the Dani Johnson Show, we're going straight to the phones, and we're going to hear, what your thoughts are. How do we fix this? What strategy should we use moving forward? This is Dani Johnson.
Is the selfish, disrespectful generation you've observed hopeless? Find out when Dani Johnson returns.
You know, I teach that cooking healthy, simple, and inexpensive meals is key to saving money, but I know how hard it is to meal plan. It takes a lot of time. This is why you need emails. Emails does the planning for you. Emails send you a written plan every week that is easy to follow and stick to. You buy only what you need, and you save a ton of time and money. Emails has a team of culinary professionals and clinical dietitians who create new weekly plans for you with healthy and delicious recipes. Emails plans are based on food styles like clean eating, paleo, diabetic, and slow cooker, and so much more. And because your plan is consistently well crafted for you, the average Emails user saves over $1,000 on groceries every year. What's not to love about that? Emails.com makes healthy cooking at home simple and inexpensive. You need to get emails in your life today. Go to emails.com and start your 14-day free trial today. You are going to love me for this. That's emails.com. Go there now. Do you want to win your favorite nonprofit some money? Could your nonprofit use part of $1 million? The Super Service Challenge is a nationwide movement encouraging people to serve the charity of their choice, better their community, and share about how they volunteered. Participating is easy. Grab some coworkers, serve the nonprofit of your choice, and create a short video telling your story at superservicechallenge.com or by using the free downloadable app. Ask family and friends to vote for your video on Super Service Challenge website. Every 25 votes gets you one more entry into the prize drawing. If your video is selected as a winner, the nonprofit you serve will receive part of $1 million in prize money. They've given away almost $3 million in funding to great causes in the past, and a nonprofit of your choice could be next. The Super Service Challenge accepts entries through November 30th, 2014. So what are you waiting for? Go to superservicechallenge.com and sign up now. That's superservicechallenge.com. Do you want to win your favorite nonprofit some money? Could your nonprofit use part of $1 million? The Super Service Challenge is a nationwide movement encouraging people to serve the charity of their choice, better their community, and share about how they volunteered. Participating is easy. Grab some coworkers, serve the nonprofit of your choice, and create a short video telling your story at superservicechallenge.com or by using the free downloadable app. Ask family and friends to vote for your video on Super Service Challenge website. Every 25 votes gets you one more entry into the prize drawing. If your video is selected as a winner, the nonprofit you serve will receive part of $1 million in prize money. They've given away almost $3 million in funding to great causes in the past, and a nonprofit of your choice could be next. The Super Service Challenge accepts entries through November 30th, 2014. So what are you waiting for? Go to superservicechallenge.com and sign up now. That's superservicechallenge.com. If you know me at all, I don't want you to spend a penny more than you have to on anything. This is one of those things. If you're a business owner and accept credit cards, you're paying too much unless you're working with my friend Kevin Sykes at Prestige Merchant Solutions. He is so confident that he can save you money, he'll actually pay you $100. Listen, if you accept credit cards, check it out. Call 850-200-0709. That's 850-200-0709. Kevin guarantees 5-star service. Guarantees he'll save you money or pay you $100. No risk. So why wait? Call today. It's quick to change from your current service, incredibly reliable, 24/7 support, and payments are processed quickly. Tell him Dani told you to call. There's nothing to lose. Call 850-200-0709 or visit them at prestigemerchantsolutions.com.
Radio talk show host Dani Johnson in Kadwa, Haiti.
Hi, I'm Dani Johnson, and I'm here with Fida in her tiny little home. This home is the size of many people's closets in the United States of America. We're sitting on a bed, just a piece of sheet or plastic that these beautiful babies sleep on. They have nothing. This family has nothing. No water, no food, nothing. Won't you do something? The Bible says that if you ignore the cry of the poor, then you too will cry and be ignored. They're not asking for nice clothes. They're asking for food. That's it. Food, water. You can help. We want to build her a home. We want to bring water, clean, fresh water here. But we can't do it alone. We need you.
Help us radically change a community. Go to kingsransom.org to make your donation to Kadwa, Haiti. That's kingsransom.org.
Giving you the playbook to design your life. This is The Dani Johnson Show. And now, here's Dani.
Do you got a brat in the house? Or two? Are you one of them? I know you didn't like that. I don't know about you, but man, the first place I typically look is in the mirror. And if I see my kids, here's a prime example. This is hilarious. So, you know, my husband and I, when we would get into a tiff, a fight, okay, we'd be arguing with each other, you know, this would come up, whatever. You know, there'd be this sarcasm that would come, right? And all of a sudden I see that in our daughter Erica and our son Cabe, where the whatever, and I realized when I saw it in them, like, oh. Because they didn't go to preschool, right? They didn't go to a school that, where else did they pick this attitude up from? Well, they picked it up from mom and dad. When we didn't know they were looking or listening or parroting us, because there was monkey see, monkey do there. Here they were picking up our same attitude that we had towards each other. Now they were doing it brother against sister, sister against brother. So let's talk about how to solve some of these issues. I don't have all the answers, I'll tell you that right now. No way, I don't think anybody does. But I think together we might be able to save some mistakes that are being done in the house, look for some solutions, and become better people today. All right, so I've got line one. We have Kimberly from Georgia. Kimberly, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Okay, I need to help in teaching my kids how not to have the me attitude. I do have a son, 18, that's going to college in 2 weeks, and he is all about me. And he's got 3 other siblings. So I need some advice on how to combat it here and now before it goes any further.
Yeah. How old was he when you first started picking that one up?
A long time ago.
So okay, here's one thing that doesn't work. Telling him to change it doesn't work. And or ignoring it doesn't work. Because as you notice, well, let me ask you, did he have this kind of an attitude that everything's about him when he was younger?
Not as much.
Right. But he had it, right?
Yes.
It always gets worse, honey. It doesn't go away and it doesn't go better. Right. That's the point. And that's one of the things that that I feel like the God I serve started to reveal to me early, that even like our son, our firstborn son, who had just the worst attitude about doing chores, right? Our daughter loved to work. She was a little worker bee, right? And she turned every work item into a game. Oh, Mommy, can we play the cooking game? Mommy, can we play the clean the kitchen game? She just, had this thing about wanting to help, wanting to serve, and she made it fun, right? Okay, well then there's the brother that comes, and he's like, Cabe, it's time to clear out the dishwasher. Oh, man! He kicked the cupboard, whatever, stub his toe, cry, and that attitude that I saw at 3 and 4 years old, it was like, whoa. I would sit there and go, what is that going to look like when he's 16? What will be the size of the temper tantrum? What will be the size of the talking back? What will that look like? Worse yet, Kimberly, what will it be like when he's 25?
Mm-hmm.
Yikes, right?
Right.
How do I fix that he's 18? So the reason why I'm pointing this out is that anybody that is listening right now, if you've got a young one and that young one has it's an all about me attitude, it's got to get corrected when they're young. Because if you don't correct it when they're young, Kimberly right now is saying it gets worse. Don't listen to people when they say, oh, they'll grow out of it. Nope, they won't grow out of it. There's some things that they might grow out of, but a bad attitude doesn't get grown out of. A bad attitude will grow bigger and bigger and bigger. So do I have an answer for you? Yes, I do. It doesn't matter how old the child is. If you feel like, I should have done something earlier, but I didn't do it, Kimberly, what would you say is the thing to say to your son?
Go apologize.
You got it,
for,
Mommy.
I guess my attitude, because, he's learned it from me. He was in public school. So he did learn some at school, but it starts at the home.
It does. It does. So, Mommy, it's sit down in the sun and say, I need you to forgive me for something. There's something I've done, and it's wrong, and I didn't realize it. If I would have known what I know today, way back when you were a little tyke, I would have taken care of this. I didn't have the tools. There's no excuse, but please forgive me. Because I didn't recognize that my bad attitude and the way I responded when I was frustrated, the way I responded even to others was wrong. And I taught you it's okay to have a bad attitude. And I taught you it's okay to dishonor and disrespect. And please forgive me because I actually set you up to fail in relationships as well as in work. So I'm letting you know right now, as a 40 whatever or 30 whatever, you got to be a late 30 or early 40 mom. I wish I would have made these changes a lot sooner. This is Dani Johnson. We'll be right back.
Stay with us right here on The Dani Johnson Show.
Is God calling you to the entertainment industry? Do you want to rise for Him? Do you want to be an actor, model, singer, or dancer and shine for God? Do you think the world needs better role models? Do you want to be a star for the Most High God? Actors, models, and talent for Christ is coming to a city near you. A new generation of Christian performers is rising. Call 800-STAR-420 or go to amtcaudition.com. God gave you talent for a reason, and that is to shine for Him. So we are searching for actors, models, singers, and dancers. Go to amtcaudition.com to find out when and where the next free audition will be held. Entertainment is the best opportunity for Christians to change the world, and the time is now. Are you ready for that call? 800-STAR-420 or go to amtcaudition.com. That's actors, models, and talent for Christ. Register for your audition today. If you love to cook, but you hate planning, you'll love emails. Emails completely removes the pressures of planning healthy and budget-friendly meals. Every week, your emails plan comes straight into your inbox with easy recipes and a shopping list. Then all the ingredients you need for yummy meals are already in the house after you go to the grocery store. And you could save an average of $1,000 this year. Emails.com makes healthy cooking inexpensive and simple. Go to emails.com and use the promo code Dani for that exclusive discount.
This is the Dani Johnson Show. And now, here's Dani.
Have you made some mistakes with your family that you regret? We all have, friend. We all have. Gosh, if we could just get that through our heads. I mean, that does not give you and I the liberty to continue to screw up. But what it does do is that we've got to come to a place where we look in the mirror, and especially when we see that our sons or our daughters or even our spouse is one, or even people that we work with in our offices, where there's bad attitudes that are floating around. When we let those things float around, they just get worse. They don't get better. And we have to take responsibility for our part in setting up that kind of a culture. We can't blame the school. We can't blame society. We have to do our part to make right whatever wrong it is that we have done. And that's what's important, is to sit down with whoever it is that we can see our bad attitude has now filtered on that person, to say, please forgive me. Please forgive me, for I was wrong showing that bad attitude, and there's no excuse. And I'd like you to hold me accountable. If you see me do that again, I want you to, in an honorable way, I would like for you to say, remember you asked me to say to you about the attitude thing? Well, this is that moment. And then you got to be honorable and say, well, thank you. I appreciate that input and that feedback. All right, so we're talking about today the spoiled, rotten brats that are all over the planet. And where did they come from? Mars? No, they came from you. Mom and dad, they came from you, auntie, uncle, grandparents, society. We are fostering spoiled, rotten, give me brats in our current culture. And what is that going to look like 20 years from now? It's scary to think about. Whose job is it to fix it? My job to fix mine, your job to fix yours. Our president, prime ministers, governors, mayors, ain't their job. They got their own issues with their own families, right? But we got our own that we have to deal with. So we're taking your call now, tackling the issue of, man, how do we foster more how can I give, how can I help, how can I serve you attitude inside of the next generation instead of I want now. All right, let's go there. Going over to the phones. By the way, the phone number is 844-200-3264. If you've been able to foster a good heart in a child, we want to hear your secret. If you have not, and you've got a little hellion on your hands, or you got 12 of them in a classroom, or that you birthed, well then, by golly, friend, now's the time to call. I'm not an expert in that area. What I can tell you is that between the two of us, we might be able to solve something. All right, line 2, we've got Tiffany from Virginia Beach. Tiffany, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Yes, Dani, I have a question for you. I have an 11-year-old daughter whose name's Justice, and we're going through a lot of hard times. The background story of us is I was in the military for 8 years, wow, and I couldn't be with her for 7 of the years because I was unaccompanied duty overseas. So my mom and dad were going through a divorce at the time, and I wanted my daughter to be in a stable environment, so I let her be with my ex-husband, well, soon-to-be ex-husband. We're legally separated, have been for a long time, his mom, because they had a stable relationship. However, I didn't realize some of the I guess I'm very nice to people, and people are nice to me, but I didn't realize some of the issues within the house. Right. And I had a lot of things to break from Justice, like she wouldn't eat what I would feed her, even though it was good food. They had fed her some really bad food, and I had to pretty much make her eat. One time she decided to eat all of her peas, and she hates peas, and then go to the bathroom to spit it out, but I caught her because I was like, I know what she did. Wow. Like, I don't know how I know that, but I just knew it. Right. But I had to break a lot of things with her. Like, she was a give me now type of little girl because she was spoiled. She had gifts coming from me from overseas,
Yeah.
gifts from
Yeah.
all sides of the family because they have split families. My separated, soon to be ex-husband, her family is separated, not a complete family, kind of like
Right.
generational curses and stuff like
Right.
that. And but basically, she just, I had to break her of a lot of things, and it was hard. But
Yeah.
I knew that I had to do it now because
Yes.
she's only impressionable for so many years.
Yep.
And I did it. It was an uphill battle, but she had went to go see the grandmother for that summer. She came back and she was unhealthy. I don't like to say fat or overweight in my house because
Right. Good.
when I was growing up, I had a lot of confidence issues, and my mom
Yep.
and dad would try to use reverse psychology on me and tell me I was fat, and I wasn't, and I had an eating disorder. So
Wow.
I knew that I didn't want that for my daughter.
So,
I
Tiffany,
didn't
what's
want
your
a lot of
question?
things
What's
for
your
the reason-
question with your daughter right now?
Just like as far as with all of this that I'm telling you, she hasn't been able to talk to her grandmother, and she's been really depressed, and just it's been hard for me to kind of just be loving to her because I was away from her for so long.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I guess just my question.
Well,
is
and
how
not
do
only
I-
that, but now she's 11, and we're going to see body changes and hormone changes that then magnify the attitude issues and magnifies the depressed feelings. Tiffany, I don't think you're going to like what I'm going to have to say, but I just have to tell you this. Number one, almost all families have issues. That's just where we're at today. Even on the outside looking in, the perfect marriages, there's no such thing as a perfect marriage. Perfect in the Bible, that word actually means complete, which means until death do us part. That's a perfect marriage, one that was completed until death do us part. We have such a fantasy mindset about marriage, about couples, about families, and we can thank our wonderful media for that, right? We can thank Disney for that. These images that went into our heads, that our parents really unknowingly realizing that we were being programmed to think things about God, think things about marriage, about relationships, about money. We were literally programmed through the movies and the cartoons that we would watch. And the kids today are being programmed for so much violence also, as well as self-image issues. I mean, it's just none of it is healthy that I see through the television today. I'm sure there might be one or two. I'm not aware of them. It's all a disaster. But the fact is that because of this fantasy idea that we have about family, when ours isn't perfect, we want to run. When ours isn't perfect, we then want to leave and we want to go find the perfect one because that's what Disney said to do, right? You keep going until you find the right one. And so what I'm going to recommend to you is this. I have been in counseling and out of counseling for almost 20 years. Yeah, 19 years. Coming up this October 4th will be 19 years when I started with a counselor. And off and on, for all of these 19 years, I've been in counseling. My husband and I are counseling right this very minute, and I'll tell you why. We don't know how to handle this new stage of life that we're in. We reached a 20-year wedding anniversary mark, 23 years living together, being together, and our kids have now, three of them are got married, right, and two of them have their own kids. We each other did not know how to manage that. We didn't know how to handle that. And so the Bible's clear that we should always have wise counselors in our life. And the Bible also says, and not that I'm preaching at you, but I'm just telling you what's spoken to me and what made me weigh my ego with my goal of having a healthy marriage, because that's my goal. I want a harmonious, healthy, peaceful marriage. If that's my goal, I got to weigh it up against my ego. And ego will say, don't ask for help. Ego will say, don't get counseling. What will people think of you if you hire a counselor to walk you through? And you should know how to do this all on your own. That's a bunch of baloney. You don't know how to do it on your own. None of us know how to do it on our own. And if we came from bad pasts, if we came from a broken home, if we came from a place of being molested, or there was any violence or alcoholism or drug, or dad or mom was a workaholic, or in your case, mom is gone. These are separation issues. These are rejection issues. And they're going to be magnified in your daughter the older she gets. And so the sooner that the two of you go through counseling, because Tiffany, you don't know how to handle this. And guess what? You're not lesser of a mother. You're not lesser of a mother because you don't know how to handle this. The Bible tells us really clear, older women teach the younger women. Older men, teach the younger men. It shows us that we are supposed to be taught by those who've already walked through the seasons that we're walking through right now. And of course, we always want to look to people that have a pretty good track record, a better track record than, let's say, someone that doesn't. But you're not always going to find that. And so it's really important that you weigh your ego with your goal. Your goal being you want to have a healthy relationship with your daughter, and you want to see her healed. You want to see yourself healed. You want to see both of you whole. You want to see both of you succeed. You want to have a loving relationship. You got to weigh that with your ego. And if your ego says, I can figure this out, she's the problem, everyone else was the problem, I don't have the problem, girlfriend, humble yourself and do the right thing, as I've had to do the right thing. And I have again and again through each season of my life been in counseling saying, help. How do I do this? Because the examples I grew up with stunk. They stunk. My parents beat the snot out of each other. I was molested. I was emotionally abused, verbally abused. We were ignored with the television. My parents did all kinds of drugs. I mean, talk about neglect to the nth degree. Then it turned out that the guy that raised me wasn't even my dad, so I was lied to my whole life. At 18, I meet my biological father, who gave me up for adoption because I wasn't a guy. Awesome. Issues? Girlfriend, I got issues. They're mountain high. So I really recommend that you find yourself a counselor to walk you through this season. Don't expect to know how to do it yourself. And you're a great woman if you call a counselor and get help. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more after this.
This is the Dani Johnson Show.
If you know me at all, I don't want you to spend a penny more than you have to on anything. This is one of those things. If you're a business owner and accept credit cards, you're paying too much unless you're working with my friend Kevin Sykes at Prestige Merchant Solutions. He is so confident that he can save you money, he'll actually pay you $100. Listen, if you accept credit cards, check it out. Call 850-200-0709. That's 850-200-0709. Kevin guarantees 5-star service. Guarantees he'll save you money or pay you $100. No risk, so why wait? Call today. It's quick to change from your current service, incredibly reliable, 24/7 support, and payments are processed quickly. Tell him Dani told you to call. There's nothing to lose. Call 850-200-0709 or visit them at prestigemerchantsolutions.com.
With all the changes happening in healthcare, Christians want to know, is there any option that's God-honoring, affordable, and acceptable under the law? The answer is MediShare. It's not insurance. It's a nationwide community of believers who share each other's medical bills. Unlike individual insurance plans, which are now required to cover the morning after pill, your healthcare dollars never pay for things that go against your beliefs. There's no enrollment period, so you could sign up anytime. You choose your doctors from America's largest provider network. And yes, it's affordable. Family options average around $300 a month. MediShare is healthcare Christians can believe in.
Learn how thousands of Christians can help you save on your healthcare. For your free information guide, call 855-90-BIBLE. Not available in Montana. MediShare, affordable biblical healthcare. Call 855-90-BIBLE. That's 855-90-BIBLE.
You know, I believed a lie for a really long time that, those perfect families that, go to church and they never have any problems and everything's always blessed. It's always blessed. I came to look behind the veil and I found the truth. We're all a mess. We're all just a mess. Have you ever noticed? Come on now. Those families that are just dressed so perfect every Sunday and, they're going to the Wednesday Bible study and they've got their, mission trip they're going to go on and, and he works for such and such corporation and she's a school teacher so that she could be at the school with the kids and everything looks great and then all of a sudden everything's ripped apart. Many of us live a facade. We do. We all have a part of our life that might be a facade. We all try to put our best mask, best face forward. What's the reason? We don't want to be rejected by people. We don't want to be judged. Judgment and rejection is so painful. But there does come a day where we have to just go, I need help. I need help. I need help. I need help. And when you can use that 4-letter word, that's when you can get yourself out of the situation that you might find yourself in right now. And maybe the situation you're in right now is you got some greedy kids. Where did they pick that one up from? Not from me. I'm not greedy at all. I tithe, Dani. Honey. Yeah. Defense usually proves that you're in the wrong. And our kids pick up the give me, I want it, I don't care what the price is, I deserve it, I want it now, don't make me wait. They see that from us. They're watching us. But what is their future? What is that going to turn into? So important to make the appropriate changes in our lives so that we don't ruin the next generation. We're taking your call today on the Dani Johnson Show. You got questions about the topic. Give me spoiled, rotten brat kids. Where do they get it from? How do I change this? How do I help my kids to be givers? How do I help them to be more generous, more concerned about others? How do I groom their heart into something better? Listen, I'm not the expert, but I think that together and between all the opinions that are being shared today on the show, you're going to grab what's going to work for you. So right now we've got Shanta from Marietta, Georgia. Shanta, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, Dani. How are you?
Great. What can we do for you today?
Awesome. I have a 3-year-old little boy, and he's an only child right now. We're trying for more, but right now he's it. And so far, to keep him from the entitlement situation, like when he's around friends or out for play dates, I try to make sure that, he, number one, asks his guest or offers his guests his best things, his best toys, or asks them what they would like to do, so he understands it's not all about me.
Yes.
But however, with him being an only, he's still, when he's at home with us, there are no other kids, there are no brothers and sisters for us to make him share or make him do anything. He's starting to get in that stage where he's like, I don't want to. I just want this. This is just mine.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure it out, me and his dad. Could you give me any suggestions on what to do with a toddler that's an only child? How do you do that with them about entitlement and sharing and
awesome.
and servitude and things of that nature?
That's awesome. Well, first of all, he's the only child, but he's not the only human in the house. Ding, ding, ding. He's the only child, but he ain't the only human, and he's only going to be 3 for so many more months, right? And so nobody is an individual, only one person on the planet. So you have to train him to live in the midst of other people's feelings, other people's timelines, other people's desires, other people's opinions, and other people's wants. And so you cannot give in to all of his wants and desires because, well, maybe it doesn't fit into mommy's timeline right now, and we have to work together like a team. And being a family is a team. And if you train up this only child to always think of the team, he'll be able to run a company someday because having a company is a team. Being an entrepreneur is a team. Everything in life is a team effort. Absolutely everything. Think of the team effort that it's going to take to educate your son throughout his entire formative educational years. Are you going to do it by yourself? Nope. He's going to be educated through many different sources throughout his life. Everything is teamwork. And so he does not rule that house. No child should ever rule the house. You've got to present the concept of team. So in the very same way that with the toys or with the time or what somebody else would like to do first, it's important to present that from mom and dad's perspective as well. And that this kid does not get his way with all things, but that he has to learn patience and honoring other people's feelings, other people's timelines, and learning self-control, self-discipline, and patience is hugely important, and that's the right kind of character to put inside him. So you already are at practice doing it when it comes to other kids. Now it's time to do it with mom and dad and him. Great question, Shante. Great question. Okay, we're going to go up to, Jane from New York. Jane, welcome to the show. What can we do for you?
Yes, my question basically is I'm trying to teach my son to save money when he's doing his chores as opposed to just wanting to spend it on frivolous things. How do I do that with him? He's 10 years old.
Okay, great job. First of all, have you ever done that with him in the past, or is this a new thing that you're going to do with him?
It's fairly new. I mean, he's 10 now, so I think he gets a better understanding of money and the concept of money and what it means.
Okay. Well, first of all, do you have Grooming the Next Generation for Success?
Yes.
Okay, good job. There's some scripting in that book about teaching the kids how to save money. So you might want to refamiliarize yourself with the chapter that we talk about kids and money and how to teach them to think like an investor instead of like a spender, and to present remember the chapter on 98 and 2%? That's got to be the foundation of all of the teachings that you give your kid. That, listen, 98% of the population is going to end up dead or dead broke at the age of 65, dependent on their family, friends, and federal government for their main source of income. Do you want to be in that group that will struggle financially, be completely consumed and buried under their debt, and have no financial freedom? Or do you want to be in that 2%? Where you will have financial independence and financial freedom, and you're not owned by anybody, and you owe nobody no thing. Your child's smart enough, even at 4, to make the right choice on that one. They'll say, I want to be a 2%er. Well, then let me show you what a 2%er does. They think completely different about money. And that's when you engage in these conversations of, yeah, I know Evan got that expensive video game, but we will, that's their family. Those are their family values. But for our family, we're going to choose not to be buying every nice thing that we see, but we're going to use self-control. We're going to set some goals of how much to save. And then when something's really important, we'll set a goal and work towards it. But that's with your extra spending money. That's certainly not your asset investment account, because we want to see you succeed financially and not be strapped like most people are throughout their entire lives. So that's something that you can say to him. And I would start that conversation immediately. Thank you so much for the question, Jane. It's a really important one. I think it's hugely important, and I'm proud of you that you are paying attention to this with your son. This is Dani Johnson. We are getting ready for hour 2 of the Dani Johnson Show. I'm so glad that you're here. Stay with us. We got another hour of some really good stuff for you.
Learning to use your gifts and resources as a child and thriving on the Dani Johnson Show next.
Is God calling you to the entertainment industry? Do you want to rise for Him? Do you want to be an actor, model, singer, or dancer and shine for God? Do you think the world needs better role models? Do you want to be a star for the Most High God? Actors, models, and talent for Christ is coming to a city near you. A new generation of Christian performers is rising. Call 800-STAR-420 or go to amtcaudition.com. God gave you talent for a reason, and that is to shine for Him. So we are searching for actors, models, singers, and dancers. Go to amtcaudition.com to find out when and where the next free audition will be held. Entertainment is the best opportunity for Christians to change the world, and the time is now. Are you ready for that call? 800-STAR-420 or go to amtcaudition.com. That's actors, models, and talent for Christ. Register for your audition today. You tell yourself that life isn't that bad. You relish the small pleasures. Drive-through coffee, big screen TV, vacations bought on credit cards. But that's as good as life gets unless you take a leap of faith. This is millionaire author, radio and television show host Dani Johnson, inviting you to join me for 2 days where you will acquire the skills to make the life you crave a reality. Call now 844-200-DANI or visit firststepstosuccess.com.
Helping you get a grip on your priorities and your focus. The Dani Johnson Show.
Here's Dani Johnson.
I'm so sick of these spoiled, rotten brats that seem to be walking all over the planet these days. They're so selfish and so disrespectful. I've heard so many people say that. And yet, the adults that are saying that don't realize that they have taught the kids how to be that way. Where did they learn it from? They didn't learn it from me. Oh, really? Well, where did you allow them to go to school? And what type of cartoons or entertainment did you allow them to watch? What kind of movies? What kind of music are you allowing them to listen to? Come on now. Have you vetted out the friends that they're spending a lot of time with, or even the families that they're spending time over at that house? What kind of attitudes those families have? At the end of the day, you and I are responsible. That's the bottom line. We're taking your call live right now, 844-200-3264, talking about things we can do to better set up and train up the next generation for success instead of training them for failure. I know that no parent, teacher, grandparent, or aunt or uncle has a desire to set their kid up for failure or whoever the kids are that are in their life. I know that. We all agree. We love them. However, there's a lot of things that we do in ignorance that we cannot see. Things that we say, how we say it, and it changes how they perceive it, and it sets them up for either success or failure. We'll go to line 3. We have Melissa from Michigan. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, Dani.
Hi.
How do you? I have 2 young boys, 2 years old and 2 months old, in their most impressionable years right now. How do I make them joyful givers without making it a chore?
Okay. 2 years old. Obviously, the 2-month-old is too young. That's obviously there. Let me tell you about one of my sons, because when we first started talking to him about investing, and we had set up this system where we had, if they earned $1, they had to divvy up the dollar. 10 cents of it went straight to feeding the orphans, or some kind of God work like that, right? So it had to be to taking care of the elderly or feeding an orphan or helping with disaster relief. It needed to go towards taking care of somebody else that was in need. And so teaching our kids to give from the very early stages of life, therefore it wasn't a chore later on. It wasn't a bad thing later on. And I see it in adults. You see adults that were never trained to give $1 out of every 10 that they make tend to be stingy, tend to be greedy. They will call themselves generous. Oh, because I sponsored a kid once. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about $1 out of every 10 that you make, you give it away. And that's a principle that all millionaires and billionaires understand, that I've encountered. Out of the millionaires that I've worked with, the very successful business owners that I've worked with that are financially independent, they're all majorly heavy givers, and they give more than $1 out of every 10. So you teach that concept early on, right? That only the 90 cents is yours. The 100% is not yours. But for every dollar, 10% is not yours straight off the top. It never was yours. And that the money itself, you're actually governing the money. You're actually in charge. You are to steward it, govern it, be trusted with it. And part of being trusted with the money is making sure that 10% of it is not yours. And then the 90% still isn't even yours. It's just been allotted to you to govern and to make wise decisions with. So we had our kids then divvy up the 90% into 50% of it went into an asset account and 40% of it went towards fun, whatever they wanted to do with it, whether it was buy a computer, buy a new pair of shoes, buy a shirt. That 40% was their fun money that they could do whatever they wanted to do with it. They could save it month after month after month and save for something big, or they could blow it all in that month that they made that amount. So they would only get 40 cents of $1 that they could blow. Then the other 50 cents went to an asset account. And an asset account is money that is going to make you money. It's not a car, because that's a liability. Cars continuously cost money, and you never sell the car for more than you bought it for. It's always worth less and less every single year. But a house, for example, or gold and silver, or what other kind of commodities or what have you, whatever that the family is involved in, if the family does real estate or the family does cattle or whatever the investment is of commodities or precious metals or whatever, then that 50 cents went towards that. So our kids ended up with gold and silver, cattle investment, and houses, actually. Our daughter owns a house. Our 15-year-old son bought his first house when he was 15. And so the way that was set up was to train them that they are managers. That's a better word for it. They're managers of the money versus spenders of the money. They're managers of the money, and the manager is to invest some right off the top, only 90% is even the part that they even get to manage, because 10% is not even yours. So when you see $1, 90 cents is yours. 90 cents is yours to manage. 40 cents of it, buy something fun. 50 cents of it, you invest it for the future. So, two of our kids saved $20,000 by the time they were 18, and they worked. They started working when they were 12, making their own money. This was not money we gave them. This is money they earned. We did a matching thing that I talk about in our book, Grooming the Next Generation for Success, that gave them motivators. So we gave stepping stones where you save $100, we're going to give you $100. And then the next one was $1,000. Once they saved $1,000, then we put in $1,000. And then we had one more match after that. So anyway, it's a mindset. It's a 2% mindset that you got to teach them. And 2%, people who are financially independent, they understand that 90 cents of it is mine to manage, and that I need to put more into investing than I do into living. And so living on less is what's important. So that's how you start right there. It starts with the mindset. It's so interesting, Christy, because you revealed yourself that giving hasn't been an easy thing for you. Being a cheerful giver. Exactly. And the reason is because you were taught from a greed mindset, as this is mine. It's mine, and don't tell me how to spend it. It's mine, and I'm going to buy whatever I want. That's a greed 98% mentality. That's a poverty mentality. And so I love that you're looking from the perspective that you were groomed with, and saying, how do I not foster that same attitude in my kids? And there you go. So I hope that answers your question. I'm proud of you, Melissa, that you would even ask that question, and you're starting when they're 2 years old and 2 months old. That's brilliant. And by the way, in Grooming the Next Generation for Success, I tell different ways of doing it with the younger kids, how to get them in the mindset of actually giving instead of a taker. Because, Melissa, we know what happens with takers, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're entitled, they're greedy, they're stingy. And they're only out for themselves. And that doesn't work in a marriage. That doesn't work in a job. That doesn't work for anything good. It doesn't even work for their own person's physical body. And so you want to groom up.
I have a divorce to prove it, Dani.
There you go. Right? Right? Isn't that true? Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, it is. It doesn't work. It's two selfish people coming together saying, give me. It doesn't work. It's a disaster. It's a total disaster. I'm proud of you, Melissa. I'm sorry that you're divorced. I'm so sorry that had to be such a painful, terrible experience. But you can change what goes into your kids. You can change how you form their mind.
Going to First Steps, I'm remarried to an amazing man that has helped me, have these 2 children. So we're trying to do things better this time.
I'm so proud of you. You have Grooming the Next Generation for Success, right?
Yes, I do.
Good job. Because there's some, I don't know, I guess our office ran some kind of promotion. There's the home study course and something about conflict resolution. There's this whole bundle with a crazy discount that's on it and a bunch of bonuses and stuff. So wanted to make sure that you already had at least part of that thing. But check your email because it's in your email box. And I'm proud of you. Congratulations on that new relationship and those 2 kids and looking for great solutions. This is Dani Johnson. We're talking about ways to train up the next generation so that they don't end up a bunch of stingy, greedy, give me now, divorced people. I'm not saying all divorced people are divorced because of that. Don't put words in my mouth. What I am saying is Melissa just said that's how she ended up divorced because she was that person. All right, so we've got up here, Kenya from Miami, Florida. I love your name. It's such a great name. Hi, Kenya.
Hi, thank you.
You're laughing.
Thanks. How you doing today?
Very good. What can I do for you?
Something with my name. I don't know what's wrong with my name, but everybody's saying the same thing.
It's gorgeous.
I'm a blessing to that.
Yes. What's your question?
Here is my concern for today. I have a daughter. She's 15, and she's getting this attitude every time that I told her that she cannot go out with some people that she asked me to go. Or movies, or mall, or boats, or whatever she want to do. And it's some people that I don't trust because I don't know them. And just because she thinks that she knows them, she thinks that I can trust them. And she's getting mad at me. And I told her, no, you're not going to these people, to this place. So we're having a good relationship. I'm a single mom, and I always having a good relationship with my daughter. But now we're just getting this fighting things with her.
Yep. I have got an answer for you, Mommy. First of all, gosh, there's so many things I can speak into this right now. But Kenya, there's something that's really important that you, at this stage, especially at 15 years old, and there's a conversation that you need to have with her. And the conversation, I wrote about it in Grooming the Next Generation for Success. It's the difference between protection versus control. And there's a big difference. And my husband actually was the one that taught me this. It was crazy, this revelation that he gave me. And here it was. Our daughter was only 11. And she asked if she could go on this camp out with one of her sweet little girlfriends. And her sweet little girlfriend, I know the girlfriend. I know the parents. In fact, the parents were a customer of my husband's. He had an internet service that he provided people. And so I just flippantly said, sure, yes, go. And there it was, Erica. It was supposed to be for a weekend. We know the lake. We know the people that we're going to be around. But my husband disagreed. And here comes Erica down the stairs with her little backpack. And Hans says, where are you going? She goes, I'm going with so-and-so. Denise was the name. I'm going with Denise on, to Pinecrest. And he says, no, you're not. Please head upstairs. And I'm telling you, right there in that moment, something flared inside of me. I was like, are you really going to be one of those controlling dads? Really? I mean, right away, I was like, how dare you do that? Erica's such a good girl. Denise is a good girl. They are a great family. Are you serious right now? And I was a little upset. I hadn't quite dealt with my daddy issues at that time. I was working through my daddy issues. And he said to me, he says, Dani, he says, how do I know that father will protect my daughter like I will protect my daughter? He says, I have a mandate from heaven, and that is to watch over her. And I have no idea if her father feels the same way. When we continue, I'll tell you the rest of how this conversation went. It was so profound. We'll continue right after this.
Coming up on The Dani Johnson Show, believe in your child, and they will believe in themselves.
Do you want to win your favorite nonprofit some money? Could your nonprofit use part of $1 million? The Super Service Challenge is a nationwide movement encouraging people to serve the charity of their choice, better their community, and share about how they volunteered. Participating is easy. Grab some coworkers, serve the nonprofit of your choice, and create a short video telling your story at superservicechallenge.com or by using the free downloadable app. Ask family and friends to vote for your video on Super Service Challenge website. Every 25 votes gets you one more entry into the prize drawing. If your video is selected as a winner, the nonprofit you serve will receive part of $1 million in prize money. They've given away almost $3 million in funding to great causes in the past, and a nonprofit of your choice could be next. The Super Service Challenge accepts entries through November 30th, 2014. So what are you waiting for? Go to superservicechallenge.com and sign up now. That's superservicechallenge.com. You know, I teach that cooking healthy, simple, and inexpensive meals is key to saving money, but I know how hard it is to meal plan. It takes a lot of time. This is why you need emails. Emails does the planning for you. Emails send you a written plan every week that is easy to follow and stick to. You buy only what you need, and you save a ton of time and money. Emails has a team of culinary professionals and clinical dietitians who create new weekly plans for you with healthy and delicious recipes. Emails plans are based on food styles like clean eating, paleo, diabetic, and slow cooker, and so much more. And because your plan is consistently well crafted for you, the average emails user saves over $1,000 on groceries every year. What's not to love about that? Emails.com makes healthy cooking at home simple and inexpensive. You need to get emails in your life today. Go to emails.com and start your 14-day free trial today. You are going to love me for this. That's emails.com. Go there now. Do you want to win your favorite nonprofit some money? Could your nonprofit use part of $1 million? The Super Service Challenge is a nationwide movement encouraging people to serve the charity of their choice, better their community, and share about how they volunteered. Participating is easy. Grab some coworkers, serve the nonprofit of your choice, and create a short video telling your story at superservicechallenge.com or by using the free downloadable app. Ask family and friends to vote for your video on Super Service Challenge website. Every 25 votes gets you one more entry into the prize drawing. If your video is selected as a winner, the nonprofit you serve will receive part of $1 million in prize money. They've given away almost $3 million in funding to great causes in the past, and a nonprofit of your choice could be next. The Super Service Challenge accepts entries through November 30th, 2014. So what are you waiting for? Go to superservicechallenge.com and sign up now. That's superservicechallenge.com. If you know me at all, I don't want you to spend a penny more than you have to on anything. This is one of those things. If you're a business owner and accept credit cards, you're paying too much unless you're working with my friend Kevin Sykes at Prestige Merchant Solutions. He is so confident that he can save you money, he'll actually pay you $100. Listen, if you accept credit cards, check it out. Call 850-200-0709. That's 850-200-0709. Kevin guarantees 5-star service. Guarantees he'll save you money or pay you $100. No risk, so why wait? Call today. It's quick to change from your current service, incredibly reliable, 24/7 support, and payments are processed quickly. Tell him Dani told you to call. There's nothing to lose. Call 850-200-0709 or visit them at prestigemerchantsolutions.com.
If you're a Christian who's paying too much for healthcare, you're going to love Medishare. It's a nationwide community of believers who share each other's medical bills. It's affordable. Families average around $300 a month, and it's accepted by America's largest network of health providers. Plus, the healthcare law has a special provision for Medishare members, so you're exempt from any tax penalties. But here's the best part. Medishare is based on the timeless principles found in God's Word. You never have to pay for things that go against your beliefs. Medishare is healthcare the way God meant it to be.
Learn how thousands of Christians can help you save on your healthcare. For your free information guide, call 855-90-BIBLE. Not available in Montana. Medishare, affordable biblical healthcare. Call 855-90-BIBLE. That's 855-90-BIBLE.
Helping you get a grip on your priorities and your focus.
The Dani Johnson Show. Here's Dani Johnson.
So there I am. I'm getting upset with my husband because he told our daughter no, she couldn't go after I had already approved this little camp out weekend with another family. And right away, what bolstered up inside of me was, are you totally going to be controlling and be like my dad? You know, I had some daddy issues that I've obviously worked through. So the bottom line was, he said, I have no idea if Denise's dad has the same conviction I have. And I have a mandate from heaven, and that is to protect my little girl. And he says, how do I know that he is the dad that when these two 11, 12-year-olds go to him and say, can we go bike riding around the lake? That he would say yes to that. And that he would let them go, two 12-year-olds, 11-year-olds, going around the lake. And how do we know who else is at the lake? People come in from out of town. How do we not know that this father wouldn't be on watch to see if these girls are sneaking out of the tent? He says, I cannot put that kind of responsibility on another father. My job is to watch over her, and I don't have enough information about that father to know whether or not he'll protect her. I'm telling you, Kenya, right there, I began to cry. And I had to ask him to forgive me for judging him for being a control freak. And he said there's a difference between protection versus control. And this is not about control. This is about protecting her. So he calls Erica back down the stairs, Kenya, and he explains the same exact thing to her that he just explained to me. Her eyes filled up with tears, and she said, thank you, Daddy, for protecting me. And she had the most profound attitude. I was floored because, see, I wasn't protected as a kid. I was controlled as a kid, but I was not protected. The man who was supposed to protect me violated me, beat me, verbally abused me, emotionally abused me. But here was my husband who had a great understanding to protect his family. So she respected him. So here's what we do now with the 15-year-old. What their attitude is to your answer proves whether or not they have the maturity to conduct themselves with those people. So even when Erica at 15 would come and ask questions like, can I go to the dance or whatever, depending, and here's what she'd say, whatever you two decide, I am absolutely cool with. I am not going to attach myself to the answer yes. Whatever you say, I'll honor and respect it. And that was always a test. So if we came back and we said not at this time, she's like, okay, awesome, thank you. And if she had a good attitude, that proved, all right, maybe next time we'll trust her to go. But if she threw a fit and argued, dishonored, and disrespected, that just proved right in that moment she was not ready to manage the freedom of being at the movies with friends or at the mall or whatever, or, you know, whatever it is that she went to the dance, to the ball game. So you let her prove to you based on her response when you do say no. And what's important that you don't do, Kenya, what's important is that you don't say no because I said so. Because, Kenya, that didn't work with you and that didn't work with me. So when parents say, do it because I said, I'm your father and that's the final and that's how it goes, don't ask me any more questions, that provokes rebellion. That does not provoke someone wanting to obey, a willingness to obey. It just provokes hardship and rebellion. But if you sit down and you honor her in an honorable way and you explain where you're coming from and that her response to your answer will tell you, and the days to come, if she has a chip on her shoulder about it, it will tell you whether or not she was mature enough to manage herself in the setting in which you have said no to. So it's about building trust with each other, especially with those teenagers. I hope that helps, Kenya. Again, that's what we did. It doesn't mean we're perfect. It doesn't mean we've done it right every single time by any stretch of the imagination. And it also doesn't mean that my husband or myself hasn't had control issues even after that. Because, yeah, when the kids decided they wanted to go get married and things like that, everything inside of us wanted to go, wait, hold on, please wait. Okay, and, you know, Mom and Dad had some failures through these last couple of years. Wow, have we ever. Anyway, it's all right. We're going to work past it. It'll be good. So we're taking your call live, 844-200-3264. You got a question or comment concerning grooming your next generation for success. If you're a teacher, a social worker, a parent, grandparent, auntie, uncle, even spiritual parent. Today, the line is waiting for you to talk. And share what you've done right or share what you feel like you need to fix. Again, that's 844-200-3264. I have a frog that just jumped in my throat. Did you see it? Yep, a frog just jumped inside of my throat. It needs to get out of my throat. I'm totally joking. Anyway, but I know you can hear the frog. Yeah. Anyhow, all right, so we're going to continue with the Dani Johnson Show right after this.
Life. It's about the journey. Are you living the life you want to live? Is it going the way you want it to go?
Don't live your life by default. Live by going the way you want to go. Dani can help you with your roadmap to life. The Dani Johnson Show.
Do you want to win your favorite nonprofit some money? Could your nonprofit use part of $1 million? The Super Service Challenge is a nationwide movement encouraging people to serve the charity of their choice, better their community, and share about how they volunteered. Participating is easy. Grab some coworkers, serve the nonprofit of your choice, and create a short video telling your story at superservicechallenge.com or by using the free downloadable app. Ask family and friends to vote for your video on Super Service Challenge website. Every 25 votes gets you one more entry into the prize drawing. If your video is selected as a winner, the nonprofit you serve will receive part of $1 million in prize money. They've given away almost $3 million in funding to great causes in the past, and a nonprofit of your choice could be next. The Super Service Challenge accepts entries through November 30th, 2014. So what are you waiting for? Go to superservicechallenge.com and sign up now. That's superservicechallenge.com. If you love to cook, but you hate planning, you'll love Emails. Emails completely removes the pressures of planning healthy and budget-friendly meals. Every week, your Emails plan comes straight into your inbox with easy recipes and a shopping list. Then all the ingredients you need for yummy meals are already in the house after you go to the grocery store. And you could save an average of $1,000 this year. Emails.com makes healthy cooking inexpensive and simple. Go to emails.com and start your free 14-day trial today.
Now, more of the Dani Johnson Show.
How do we stay away from training up this next generation that is going to be the future workforce, that is going to be future politicians, lawyers, lawmakers, judges, parents, school teachers? How do we make sure and set them up and train them up with the appropriate skills about money, finances and money is the same thing, about people skills, about heart issues, emotional skills? How can we set them up for success instead of accidentally setting them up for failure? You know, we live in a very greedy society, and I'm not coming from a religious standpoint. I'm coming from the facts. How greedy are we? We have a $17 trillion national debt, government-wise, and we have a $13 trillion consumer debt. That's greed. We live in a society where the vast majority of our population is in debt. Yeah, credit card debt, car debt, mortgages, and they're buying more. I mean, they have this crazy amount of debt, and yet they're still shopping. Or they have this crazy amount of debt, but they still have a housekeeper coming to clean their house. They're still eating out several days a week and buying food that's going to waste in their fridge. This is all signs of greed, all signs of a poverty mentality, certainly not the signs of 2% of our population that is financially independent, not owned by anybody, not enslaved to anything, but instead they are independent. They are free financially. And I want to see you in that same exact place. But how can we not only be that ourselves, but how can we make sure that we impart into the next generation not being these greedy, self-absorbed, gluttonous pigs? How? I believe there's a way. And I believe you have the power, aunt or uncle or mom or dad or school teacher, social worker, coach, basketball coach, soccer coach, martial arts instructor. You have great power and influence on the next generation. They see how you live. They hear what you say. They see if you got a new pair of shoes or not. You have their ear, and you have the chance to plant seeds inside of them that could be long-lasting forever. Just as my husband had a martial arts instructor when he was 12 years old. His name is Damien. Turns out that Damien was a multimillionaire in real estate, financially independent. And Damien used his time at the YMCA teaching kids who could not afford a martial arts class, or teaching my husband. He was the first kid in that class, the rest were adults. But he used that time to talk about a 2% mindset. He used that time to talk about becoming investors instead of spenders. Damien used that time to foster character when the students were stretching on the floor, getting ready to throw their high kicks or their backflips or whatever they were going to do, their punches or whatever. Damien used the time during stretching, cooling down, before stretching before they would engage in their exercise, and then after with a cool down. He really was strategic, and he planted seed in every student that was there. But the seed that was planted that my husband received set him up to start thinking like a business owner, that he wanted to own his own business, that he wanted to become a millionaire, that he wanted to become an investor, that he wanted to travel the world. And these were all simply just seeds that were dropped from a martial arts instructor. And Damien is still in our life to this day. So you have power to influence kids that are around you. And if we don't powerfully influence them in a right direction, I can't imagine what kind of a nation this is going to be 20 years from now, when the kids of today are running the government, when the kids of today are lawyers, doctors, when they are parents, school teachers, celebrities. Wow. Look at the celebrities that we've watched. Wow. Remember when we thought Elvis was inappropriate with his dancing? So, yeah, the media had such strong morals, they refused to show Elvis from the waist down. And he wasn't gyrating and looking like he was, well, you know what I'm saying. He was very clean. But then we have the Michael Jacksons of the world, not only gyrating, but touching body parts and making it cool. Then you go over to the Britney Spears of the world. The list goes on. The list goes on. And let's not forget the songs. I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It. Things that we never would have tolerated just a few generations ago. Now, we're so used to it that we allow our 2-year-old to watch a movie right along with us as people are being sliced to pieces. Blood is splattering, bombs are going off, or there's a sex scene between 2 women or 2 men, and we just allow the images go inside of our kids. Or the cartoons that are violent or sexual. Yeah, Jessica Rabbit, can you please tell me why we allow our kids to watch cartoons that have cleavage? Please? We have become so numbed out, so dumb. No morals. And what will be the result 20 years from now? I'll tell you what it is. The pornography industry is going to boom, as though it isn't already. $13 billion industry. Whoo! It's going to boom. Boom, 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 bada boom, boom. It's going to boom. What else is going to boom? Debt. Oh, yeah. All the imagery of I want, and if I don't have, then I'm a nobody. Oh, it's going to just, the debt is going to soar. Frivolous spending, waste. Instead of character, good, sensible morals, treating others how you want to be treated. We're going to see a boom in divorce. We will see a boom in abortion. We'll see a boom in alcohol, drugs, suicides, which, by the way, is in the top 3 in our teens today. That's what's killing our teens today, suicide. We're going to see a boom in prescription drugs because how our kids are being programmed today, how they're being fed by mom and dad are too busy to cook a meal or too lazy. Yeah, that's where we're headed if you and I don't do something about it. Taking your call right now. I'm certainly not the chief expert in all things, or certainly not with raising kids. We did some strategies that helped create more peace and harmony in the home. My husband and I are still learning. Lord have mercy. We could use some advice on how to handle the adult children at this point, the ones that are just getting married. Christy from Vancouver, Vancouver, BC. We got a Canadian on the line. Christy, welcome to the show. What have you got to say today?
Just a quick comment on how to get children into that mindset of giving and not, I want now.
Yes.
And I want everything.
Yes.
One thing I've always done with mine is every birthday and Christmas, I have them go through their toys, find something that's been gently used that they no longer play with, and we pay that for. We give it to someone who maybe isn't quite as fortunate as we have been, and help them out. So I'm always sort of revamping the toy box, which is nice for clutter around the home.
Yep.
But then always blessing someone else with things that we no longer use.
Yep. That's awesome. And you know, there's a way to even take that one step further, Christy. Have you heard of the book, Grooming the Next Generation for Success?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. In Grooming the Next Gen, I talk about, because this is what I found. I don't know if you found the same thing, but when one of our sons, he had his 5th birthday, you know, and the 5th birthday is a big deal, right? I don't know why, but it's a big deal. And he got overloaded with gifts. He had his whole class over, right? And then we had the church people over, and then we had family, and then, you know, our extended adopted family, all of our friends over. I mean, this was a huge birthday party. And when I saw all of the gifts, remember there were have you ever seen piles and piles of gifts that your kid has ever gotten? Mm-hmm. They're piles of them, right? I looked at these piles of gifts, and I just had this deep conviction inside of my spirit, and I thought, this is a really bad idea. Look at this. What happens if next year it isn't as big? How's that going to make him feel? What kind of expectation am I setting this kid up for? And this is gluttonous. Do you know what I mean? Like, who needs that many toys? And the fact is, he's going to lose interest in 90% of these in the next week to 2 weeks. Have you ever noticed that your kids like totally lose interest in the new toy that they got?
Yep.
So I was looking at the character and the messaging that this was teaching my son. And I got down on my knees and I said to him, I said, Cabe, I said, I want you to look at these toys. Look at how much of a blessing you just got. He says, I know. I said, will you please pick out for me your 5 favorite things? And he did. And I said, I want you to think about this and pray about this right now. There's a little boy that turned 5 today also in this city. And he's in a homeless shelter with his mom, and he's gotten nothing. He says, can I bring the other gifts to him? I said, absolutely. He actually changed out some of his 5 favorites, and he gave the little boy a couple of his favorites and picked out something that was less favorite to him. Literally, we drove to Livermore, California, and we found that there was a homeless shelter, and there was a 5-year-old boy. His birthday was the day before, and he got nothing. And Cabe delivered all of these toys to that little boy. And when I asked Cabe, what is your most favorite thing that you got for his birthday? He goes, it isn't what I got. He goes, it's what I got to give. I really loved seeing that little boy and his sister playing with all those toys. That made me feel so much better than what I got. 5 years old. So, one step further, let's say, because our kids don't need all this stuff.
Hey, have you done a favor for your best friend yet? Then do it now. Share this program with them. The Dani Johnson Show, helping hundreds of thousands of people just like you make life more enjoyable and rewarding. The Dani Johnson Show.
If you know me at all, I don't want you to spend a penny more than you have to on anything. This is one of those things. If you're a business owner and accept credit cards, you're paying too much unless you're working with my friend Kevin Sykes at Prestige Merchant Solutions. He is so confident that he can save you money, he'll actually pay you $100. Listen, if you accept credit cards, check it out. Call 850-200-0709. That's 850-200-0709. Kevin guarantees 5-star service. Guarantees he'll save you money or pay you $100. No risk, so why wait? Call today. It's quick to change from your current service, incredibly reliable, 24/7 support, and payments are processed quickly. Tell him Dani told you to call. There's nothing to lose. Call 850-200-0709 or visit them at prestigemerchantsolutions.com. Is God calling you to the entertainment industry? Do you want to rise for Him? Do you want to be an actor, model, singer, or dancer and shine for God? Do you think the world needs better role models? Do you want to be a star for the Most High God? Actors, models, and talent for Christ is coming to a city near you. A new generation of Christian performers is rising. Call 800-STAR-420 or go to amtcaudition.com. God gave you talent for a reason, and that is to shine for Him. So we are searching for actors, models, singers, and dancers. Go to amtcaudition.com to find out when and where the next free audition will be held. Entertainment is the best opportunity for Christians to change the world, and the time is now. Are you ready for that call? 800-STAR-420 or go to amtcaudition.com. That's actors, models, and talent for Christ. Register for your audition today.
We're back. Here's Dani Johnson.
Stuff. It's everywhere, isn't it? And without knowing it, I was teaching my kids to be people of stuff. And that's sad. My husband and I, again, not even realizing it, not doing it on purpose. But see, when we were so blinded with stuff, we didn't even see how we were setting our kids up with wanting more stuff. So we made some adjustments along the way, and I'm pretty impressed with what the result was. Our kids learned to become givers and to reach out to those who have nothing, instead of always being concerned with all the things they want or they're going to get. We're taking your call right now for this last segment of the Dani Johnson Show, 844-200-3264. Do you think that it's important for the kids to get stuff, or do you feel like they should learn how to become givers? Line 2, we've got Lorianne from Florida. Lorianne, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, Dani. Thank you. When we found out about you about 3 years ago, my husband and I, we were so jacked up financially and everything. I had always, since the time I had children, we have 4 sons, and from the time I was pregnant, I was reading every parenting book imaginable. I wanted to do the right thing and raise them right. And
so awesome.
And while I did a good job, as far as they were well-behaved and they loved God and made sure that they weren't watching what they shouldn't be watching and different things like that. The whole concept of 98 and 2% was something that just smacked us right in the face, something we had never experienced before in our lives. And so as we started unlearning all the stuff that we had done and all the mistakes we made, we plugged our boys into the expert along with us. And so they would sit in on all the calls and listen, and they were plugged in and getting groomed by you because we didn't know what we were doing, and so they were learning as we were unlearning.
Wow.
And through the past 3 years, they've just caught it, and they're just there, and they're so in with whatever the DJC community is doing, and to even have the opportunity to have them plugged in with the next gen, the DJC Next Gen, which they have all these friends that are their age, and they're having the same mindset. Because where we are, we live in a very affluent area, and it is not modeled at all around here. So we've just been so grateful to, as a family, to be able to plug in and learn and unlearn the right way to do things.
Yeah. You know, I think a lot for us parents, it's unlearning for us. And the kids are sponges. You know what I mean? They're just complete sponges. They want to learn. They want to be successful. All kids want to do good. They want to please their parents. They want to succeed. They want to get that pat on the back. And us parents, we come with all kinds of baggage. We really do. Even if we grew up in Leave It to Beaver household, which there's very few ever out there on the planet, all families have challenges. All families have trials. All families have issues. And when we go through trials, we get to see what we're made of. And sometimes it's not very pretty, as it's been in our home. That, you know, we're not very pretty when we get pressed. And so it's important for us to unlearn some of the things that we've learned, that we've picked up through society or through movies or through books, while we're trying to teach our kids how to be better people than what we are. And it's a challenge to model both of those things out. But I'm really proud of you and your husband that you were that mom that when you had your children, that you were buying parenting books and you were doing everything you could to try to train them up for being honorable, being respectful, and that you didn't stop there. You didn't go, oh, my kids are honorable and respectful, I'll stop right there. But you continued to learn and you continued to grow. And I'm so happy to hear that grooming the next generation for success really helped you guys and teaching your kids how to think financially. And that's huge. I mean, don't you wish you had that kind of training when you were young?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I tease all the time, and I say, Mommy was the poster child of the 98%.
Yep. Me too. Whether we grew up in an affluent, wealthy house or we grew up on welfare, both sides have a poverty mentality if they're not becoming in that 2% and learning to be investors and be wise with money and not showing their wealth. But it's not what you show, it's what you don't show when it comes to wealth. Thanks so much, Lorianne, for your comment. We also have our last caller, Johnny from Alberta, Canada. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, Dani. This is Joni in Alberta. And I just wanted to share really quick that kind of similar to Lorianne, prior to plugging in, I thought I did all the things right with my kids. We actually were raising spoiled kids, and we didn't even realize it. But after my husband and I went to one of your trainings, your seminars, and we realized you were giving back to the orphans. At the time you were helping to build an orphanage in Belize. That really touched us, and we shared that with our kids. And my son Caleb actually decided to kind of model what Cabe did, and instead of getting presents, he just asked his friends and family for donations. And that's kind of been a tradition ever since.
Really?
My kids have been doing that. Wow. And it's been a lot of fun,
wow.
to say the least.
Wow. So this is a new tradition in the family. Look at that. And I love that Joni, you were awake, that when you saw another family, that rather than getting something for the birthday, we give to someone else who doesn't have anything. I think it's great that some parents, go and find the gently used toys and give those away and then give their kid the new. But let's take it a step further. Why do we want to give away our junk to someone else? Right? Why not give our best to someone who has nothing? So anyway, I love it. So your son raised money for his 7th birthday. How much money did he raise when it was all said and done, Joni?
That time, when it was all said and done, it was $6,000. And that blew us away. We didn't know. And we didn't, we didn't come from a lot of money. We just kind of took, you said prosper where you're planted, and we did, and he just used his influence to just kind of shout it from the mountaintops. He was so excited and so passionate about being able to do this, and it's just been so many things that have happened since then. He raised money again. We actually we kind of sat down and brainstormed last Christmas time and said, hey, look, if you can do this on your own, would you want to do it with friends? So he did, and we invited other friends to be a part of it. And that kind of snowballed. We actually had Miss Leone come visit us from all the way from Belize to meet with these kids that were partaking in getting less presents and giving back. And we raised the kids raised another, I think it was $3,500, $3,500 at that point. And even just last weekend, I swear they get addicted to it. They love doing it. And,
they love giving instead of getting.
They love it.
Yes. Joni, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I'm serious. This just really blows my mind that you have made this a family tradition. It's been a family tradition of ours as well. And it's amazing that your son is now recruiting other kids. Look at this influence, right? A kid, 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old kid who has the influence to say, I don't want any gifts for my birthday. I just want to give for my birthday. So whatever money you'd spend on me, please just give me the cash and I'm going to give it to these orphans. And now he's getting his friends to do the same exact thing for Christmas and their birthdays. That's a world changer right there, because he changed the world of those other kids. His world has been changed. Your world has been changed. Other worlds are being changed as a direct result. Hey, this is Dani Johnson. Thanks so much for joining me today. We will be with you tomorrow with another intriguing topic that makes you go, wow. Have a great day.
We want to thank you for listening to The Dani Johnson Show. We hope you found inspiration, answers, and hope to renew your happiness in life and learned how to make the most of today and tomorrow.
I teach that cooking healthy, simple, and inexpensive meals is key to saving money. But I know how hard it is to meal plan, and it takes a lot of time. This is why you need Emails. Emails does the planning for you. Emails send you a written plan every week that is easy to follow and stick to. You buy only what you need, and you save a ton of time and money. Emails has a team of culinary professionals and clinical dietitians who create new weekly plans for you with healthy and delicious recipes. Emails plans are based on food styles like clean eating, paleo, diabetic, and slow cooker, and so much more. And because your plan is consistently well crafted for you, the average Emails user saves over $1,000 on groceries every year. What's not to love about that? Emails.com makes healthy cooking at home simple and inexpensive. You need to get Emails in your life today. Go to emails.com and start your 14-day free trial today. You are going to love me for this. That's emails.com. Go there now. You tell yourself that life isn't that bad. You relish the small pleasures. Drive-through coffee, big screen TV, vacations bought on credit cards. But that's as good as life gets unless you take a leap of faith. This is millionaire author, radio and television show host Dani Johnson, inviting you to join me for 2 days where you will acquire the skills to make the life you crave a reality. Call now 844-200-DANI or visit firststepstosuccess.com.